Where do we get into society where we have such low standards to where we have Mia Khalifa giving marriage advice to the masses? We're letting a former adult movie star, two-time divorce, one-time engaged, that ended in a breakup, currently on OnlyFans, woman giving advice about marriage, which is a long-term investment that cultivates a family. Where did we drop so far into society to where we look up and we see people like this giving commentary on marriage? Now, social media is a blessing and a curse, right? But before we get into that, there's something else I want to say, right? Marriage has already been on the rocks. Not as many people are getting as married as they used to, right? People aren't having kids anymore like they used to. So marriage is already on the rocks. And just to compile the BS, we have a woman that has failed at marriage giving marriage advice. We should be listing the women that are currently married, that have been married for 10, 20, 30, 40 plus years, on how to stay together and keep a marriage going. But like I said earlier, social media is a blessing and a curse, right? Now, it's a blessing in the sense that we have evidence of how delusional people are. We get to see firsthand what people's perceptions are, what people's delusions are, what people's mental illnesses are. We get to see the illogical talking points that they talk about, right? Because back then, you could piece together that people thought a certain way, but you didn't have evidence. There wasn't a camera. Now we have camera with audio of how people actually think and feel about certain topics, right? So that's a blessing in itself. But the curse is women are siding with this type of ideology. And it's being disseminated, or it's being spread across the internet, and it's influencing how women think and feel about relationships and marriage. A woman that hasn't had successful relationships, right? So women, there's a small portion of women that are siding with her, and that is a red flag. Because if modern women are thinking this way, guys, there's no way in hell you're gonna get a good woman if a lot of women think like this, right? And I don't think a lot of women think like this. I would never say all women think like this, but there's a good portion of women that think like this that you probably would be surprised that do, right? So she calls marriage paperwork and she promotes divorce, right? Basically, with her statement. She's oversimplifying marriage just to paperwork. She's not talking about the sacrifices that are needed, the family, for the family and the kids. She's not talking about the long-term investment, how you guys are gonna have to sacrifice for each other in order for you guys to build a family, to build a life together, in order for it to be successful. So she says in one of her statements, right? we shouldn't be afraid to leave these men. And I'm paraphrasing, if the relationship, if it's not working, if you're not getting what you want out of the relationship, you should leave, right? And that's a half truth. It's a truth in the sense of, yeah, if the relationship isn't working, if your partner is dysfunctional, if you guys can't come together and work things out, if they're displaying toxic behaviors, yes, you should leave the relationship. But the crazy thing is, she's talking about leaving these relationships when she's the main reason why the past relationships didn't work. She's probably the main reason why those past relationships didn't work, because she was uncompromising in marriage and in relationships. I've never been married, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that in marriage, you're gonna have to compromise, right? If you guys ever been around married people, they compromise and talk to each other about different stuff all the time. And so this is just the avalanche to what marriage is, what's left of marriage, right? People already aren't getting married anymore. Men aren't getting married anymore. And so it seems like it's a reaction to men dropping out of marriage. And it's not simply because men don't want marriage, they don't want family. It's because of what called the divorce. It's because of the divorce. All the things that happened with the lawsuits and the alimony and the child support, all different things, right? Marriage is already dying, unfortunately, in our society. And this is evidence of our society decaying. Because if you don't have any family units, you don't have a society. And so how do we cultivate marriage again with men not wanting to put up with these illogical women and the potential of being divorced and going through the terrible consequences of divorce? And how do you convince women that don't want to have children and don't want to get married? How do you fix that problem? That's a very hard problem to fix, right? And so the last thing I want to bring up that she talked about in her statement is, she said, if you're not getting everything you want from the relationship or from the marriage, you should quit, or you should get out of the marriage, right? Which is funny to me, because if you look at married couples, women get all the benefits of being married. So what is she talking about when she says everything? Women literally get majority of the positive benefits of being married. For the man, you just signed up to work a hell of a lot more. You got to sacrifice a hell of a lot more. You're going to have to manage money a hell of a lot more. You're limited to just one woman. There's more sacrifices being made by the man, right? If somebody breaks into the house, you got to be the first barrier of defense, right? There's a lot more responsibility on the man than there is the woman when it comes to sacrifice and getting things done. Why is she saying leave if you don't get everything in a marriage? This is the myth that people don't want to talk about. You're not going to get everything in a relationship. You're not going to get, this is what people are talking about when they say people have too high of expectations for what relationships are supposed to be. You're not going to get everything in a relationship. You should get into a relationship because you want to start a family, because you believe in that partner. He's a good partner. He's going to be a good husband, a good wife, good husband, good father, good mother to the children. You guys are compatible sexually, compatible personality-wise. Past that, anything else is just idiotic and stupid, right? But this is what's going on in our society. And this is how people are thinking about marriage. And so you guys take with this what you want to take from it. I'm here just to present the information. You guys like the video, comment your thoughts below. If you guys like me and support my content, I appreciate it. Please consider subscribing. If you guys want to support the show, all the ways you can support are in the description below. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.